Welcome into this Thursday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio here. 2 o'clock on Thursday, getting a little later in the day as we get to you. We'll discuss the last 24 hours, what it kind of maybe means for us, what it means for the things, and more. Also taking some subscriber questions from the rebelgrove.com message board. We'll get to that here as the show moves on a little bit, but nonetheless, hope you're having a wonderful Thursday that maybe includes stopping over at the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. You can see the new self-checkout that's going on. You don't have to wait around, see if somebody can get to you quickly. You can just take care of yourself. We're big proponents of that. You can go see it there at the Blue Sky location there on Highway 6. While you're in there, download the Speed Pass Plus app, use it to earn points and save money with the Oxford Exxon and all Blue Sky locations in Mississippi. Or maybe you get a lunch special that you need to check out. $5.69, 2 sides, bread, 32-ounce drink there at the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is completely up to you. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, but I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. You will love the product. You'll love the service. You'll love everything about Clark Ford. Just give them a call, 662-257-1900, and you'll start to find out why. Guest join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters Music and Food on the Square in Oxford, also in New Albany. And then don't forget, this weekend be perfect. I think the weather's going to be really nice. A little warm, but nice. So you can go to Rafters on the Water. Starts tonight at 5, Friday at 5, and then 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Frozen margaritas, frozen daiquiris, great food, great waterfront views as well there at Rafters on the Water at Sardis.
No, it's fall. It's fall. It's great weather. Get some leaves falling here soon. We're going to get some.
There are leaves falling, but more from
heat exhaustion
than dropping.
Than weather standpoint. Something like that.
Yeah. Did you get a haircut?
A couple days ago.
Okay, they're asking about it in the thread. I don't really notice hair. I jokingly, when I shave, ask people if they like my haircut.
Have you had to change how often you're doing it?
More lately. Like, this is like just 3 days of growth, and it's driving me nuts. But I don't want to shave every day.
I'm talking about head.
Yeah, the whole deal. If I shave my face, I shave my head.
Oh, you do everything. There are not days where you'll do one or the other?
Oh, no. We're all in this together.
Really?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you feel like they grow at the same speeds?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I mean, I don't know why I'm perplexed. I mean, I'll take your word for it.
I could grow out the bozo thing, and no, I will not grow out the bozo thing, but I absolutely could.
You kind of, at one point, you sort of did a little bit, right? Before you got a little smarter about it?
Yeah, before I just completely said I'm not doing this. Laura did not want me to shave my head, and so for the longest time I didn't. And then I finally just one day said I'm doing it.
And with all due respect to you, when you're heavier and have the bozo look, you got a bad situation going on. You got a lot going on there.
When you are bald, the fatter you are, the rounder you look everywhere. You just, simple as that. Guys with hair.
Do you look thinner when you're thin? Does it work both ways?
No. Well, I don't know. It's a good question. But guys with hair can hide weight a little bit better than guys without hair. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
Is what it is. If you have a full, thick head of hair, you can hide 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm. You need to be clean shaven too, though.
Yeah.
Facial hair adds more
weight.
Yeah.
That's why, like, right now, I just can't stand, like.
Yeah, I think facial hair adds weight if you've got that going on. So, anyway, this is what you all guys, as we put asses in seats here on the podcast. Sports.
Well, the truth is, we're sitting here waiting for an email that hasn't come, and quite frankly, the longer we go without it, the more I'm fairly convinced I know what eventually will come.
Do you really? Yeah, I do too. So our point here, and it's where we're in a bit of a holding pattern, if you will, is that we don't know what media availability is for practice, which the first practice is Saturday, a couple days away from that. So there was a time when we thought it was going to be fairly open.
Yeah.
A time where we thought we would have some access in person.
This week.
Yeah. And then, frankly, yesterday happened, if we're just completely honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Some different things went on. The cases were way up from a COVID standpoint yesterday. They were I think, fourth highest of any point in the pandemic yesterday. I think people reacted to that. I think they already had at least been putting some possibilities of that in place. And then yesterday, I guess Mississippi State announced first, but all 8, is it 8, how many ever, IHL schools in the state of Mississippi.
I knew that was coming because I had heard from someone, believe it or not, someone at Delta State tipped me off that was coming there.
Okay. They essentially told them, from talking to different people, the IHL did not mandate anything. However, I think the Mississippi Department of Health was influencing, directing, doing whatever it is that you want to use. And I think the IHL simply wanted all of its member institutions to do the same thing, whatever that same thing was. Around 6:30, 6:45 last night. It was after that. It was like 7:30, 7:45. Ole Miss puts out a letter from Boyce saying that they are moving to mask indoors moving forward I forget what the words they are, but for the foreseeable future until anything changes or whatever. My thought on this, and what I still believe, is that this is a bit of a mitigation exercise to avoid having to do other things, trying to keep the rest of the in-person experience, if you will, active in all ways. And as of now, and this is kind of where we're going to start talking, Neal said he started hearing some things, different things. As of now, that does not impact anything outside, so it would not impact football stadiums. It would not impact the Grove. It would, as of now, not impact any of those things, at least for what they were hoping for last night. But does that impact things with our availabilities? Does that impact things with what we can do in press situations once the season starts? We have no idea. Again, we're less than 48 hours out from the first Ole Miss football practice, and we have been given zero indications of anything pertaining to what our access or coverage possibilities are as we move forward.
Yeah, so Georgia put out a thing, and I think Vanderbilt has too. I think there are some others, but I'm not sure. And then Alabama came out with a announcement today, I guess an announcement via Ross Dellinger, and I'm sure they announced it to other people too. I would guess, based on what I'm hearing and the fact that there's been no notice of, hey, here's when to be here and here's what to do and all of that, I would guess we're going to all Zoom for a while.
I have no reason to dispute that.
I mean, no one's told me that, but it's Thursday at 2:13 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and this is not a criticism of anyone at Ole Miss, of Kyle or anyone. But I don't see anything from Ole Miss yet, and I would think, you tell me, you're younger, your mind is probably sharper than mine at this point. Don't we usually have something 3-4 days out as to, hey, here's when the first,
even things as simple as, if it's in person to this point, we would have been given a preliminary schedule that will change, but a camp schedule, if you will.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, here's how you get credentials for the season. And then even like, hey, if you're from out of town, this is where you park. This is what you might need for certain days. A bunch of just logistical information for people who are not around every day.
Yeah, because we would have been told to go get a parking pass. Here's where you go get a parking pass. We would have been told, here's what this is going to look like. We also would have gotten some credential stuff that I don't think we've gotten yet.
They definitely would have come out before. Let me put it this way. In years past, they have come out before now. Let's say it that way. So, yes, it makes me believe that either they don't know or it's not going to be as detailed as we are anticipating.
Well, I think they had a plan, because I think they were about to release the plan, and then
the plan got moved.
Things got changed.
Yeah. So we had sort of moved back into a more traditional format, or at least a hybrid format, as to how we were going to cover things, and we're up in the air a little right now. So we'll let you know when we know. We have to be told what our options are, what our possibilities are, and for us to cover games in person, we need to believe that there are reasons to do that where we get information that we would not get otherwise.
Yeah, because Ole Miss yesterday, as you mentioned, announced that they're going back to a mask thing indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that tells me that
media
is going to be really restricted. Further complicating things with Ole Miss is that they're not at the 85% threshold. I don't know how many schools are, but they're not. You and I have both heard numbers today. The number's higher than it was at media days, but it's still nowhere close to 85. I know people have used the word close. I'm not criticizing those people. I'm simply saying that's not what I'm getting. That's not what you're getting.
Well, it's a little bit of horseshoes and hand grenades a little bit. I mean, as Neal and I were discussing this morning, you're either at 85 or you're not. 82 means nothing from the standpoint of loosened restrictions related to vaccines.
82 might as well be 0, as you said.
Yeah, you've got to get to 85 is the number, and nothing until 85 matters from, again, loosening restrictions. And, I mean, it's essentially 1% per one player. I mean, so let's just hypothetically, and because, I mean, look, none of us know exactly what the number is, but let's say it's 60. Keith said it was 60 yesterday. I'll take their word for it.
Yeah.
That's still 25 more players, give or take, that have to be vaccinated to this point. Because it's not just scholarship players, it's players. And then you're talking about 105, you're talking about whatever.
It's actually 85% of the program.
Well, good point, yeah.
It's coaches, support staff, everyone.
Mm-hmm. So it's a number.
Yeah, We've talked about it. We've kind of come up with a pretty firm plan as to what we were going to do, and that plan's sort of out of there at this point. Back to the drawing board. But look, like I told somebody yesterday, for us, worst case is not that bad. I mean, it's not ideal, but we've done it before, and it worked, and I think we would know how to enhance it. It'll be better. If we have to do what we did last year, we'll do it. It'll just be different.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing too. I mean, I'm interested in more, probably even more than you are. What?
Laughing at Mark's. I'm trying not to be a total smartass, but his point is so well taken.
Yeah. Well, the bigger thing for me, even in as far as covering in person for home games, because we were kind of debating travel anyway, depending on what was going on, is are you restricted on to what level are you restricted to where you can go? To me, that's my main thing. Because if you're also just isolated to your spot, other than going and getting a cookie that's prepackaged somewhere, I mean, like, you really are beholden at that point to anything that would be on TV or anything. There's no way to glean anything. Versus, if you had the ability to operate and move around, then it at least brings other things into, hey, well, I saw so-and-so, I can talk to so-and-so, I can do whatever. That's the thing. It's how restricted are you into your area.
But if we're in full-out lockdown kind of mode inside a stadium where even the people that you would talk to, like, for example, where Keith Carter would see you and be like, I really can't talk to you here. We can't be seen standing talking to one another because.
Yeah. But hey, you want to have a beer? Okay.
Yeah.
Kidding.
We could meet later tonight and go to Funky's, but we can't talk here. Yeah. So if it were that, then there's no point in being there. And if it's just, hey, and especially if the post game is going to be all Zoom,
because then we don't have the ability for breakouts. Yeah. You don't have.
So now there's really no reason,
right? Yeah, that's actually the number one reason. Is what does post game look like relative to normal? And if literally everything is like that, then I don't know.
At which point we might send an intern to the game.
I mean, we had planned on doing some different stuff with the pregame show. Frankly, I still think that's the better method for that.
It is.
But otherwise, we're just kind of waiting, kind of seeing where it goes.
Well, let's see what happens with the Grove, honestly. Still a lot of time between now and September the 11th. A lot could change, could get better, could get worse, but I think we're kidding. Be careful here because I don't want anybody to go get angry or crash on their, be out running and get so mad that they hit something. No one's told me this, but it doesn't require a genius that if the numbers stay where they are, given all the things that are happening everywhere else, that somebody might put the kibosh on that. Because I know the Grove's outside, but it's really not.
It's not outside.
It is, but it's not. You know me now. I'm for opening the Grove wide open, and if you want to go to the Grove, go to the Grove. I want you to go to the Grove. I want the games to be open. I mean, let no one have any doubts here about where my motivations are. I want you to have the open Grove. I want you to go tailgate if you want to tailgate. I want you to go to the stadium if you want to go to the stadium. I want you to live your life and have a good time. I'm all for you. I want my kids to be able to go to games at Arkansas. I want them to be able to go to a tailgate. I do. I want you to be able to go to the Grove, and I want them to have – it doesn't sound like they're going to do the Walk of Champions now. That sounds like that's already in some trouble, I've heard.
Okay. I had no idea.
But I want them to have the Walk of Champions. I want you to cheer on your team and go to the Grove and have a great time and go to the game and have a great time and then come back and watch our postgame show. That's what I would love for you to do. I want you to have fun.
You'd watch our postgame show in the Grove.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if you put it up on your big screen.
Yeah.
But I think we're all kidding ourselves if we don't at least acknowledge that that's probably somewhere in somebody's room right now where someone's – I mean, look, if you don't think that the State Department of Health is going to try to stop tailgating as of today, you're not following along closely enough. And if you're Ole Miss, though, here's the thing, and we'll get into this a little bit. And this is where I get – if you're Ole Miss, if you're Keith Carter, if you're the people over there, at some point you got to – don't you have to put a foot in the dirt? A line in the sand, pick your – simile and go, nope.
Even combine them like some people.
Nope. You can't do this to us. Tailgating at Ole Miss matters. The Grove matters. Whether it should matter, shouldn't matter, whether that makes you mad.
I think you saw that even last year from the standpoint of, look, I know that stadium attendance was limited. I know that it was limited to 25% or whatever it was. What was it? 50 at one point, whatever. They didn't hit that number even, though. They never got to whatever the cap was. Ole Miss never put that many people in there. It was always below that.
Yeah.
And some of that is simply, if you have a certain number of tickets, you're never going to use every freaking ticket. So that does play a role in it.
Sure.
But, and look, some people tell me I'm a moron here, and maybe I am.
People tell you you're a moron?
Yeah, occasionally.
You want me to read you my DMs?
Yeah. Get that every once in a while? Like once a week?
No, more than that. What's an hour?
I think a full Grove and full tailgating changes the attendance in the stadium by at least 10,000 people per game.
I agree with you. I don't think you're a moron at all.
I think that
anything,
even if the stadium is
underselling.
100% open, stadium, whatever y'all have added, I think you're talking low to mid 40s, low to mid 50s on average, depending on where the Grove's open.
I agree with that. There's a lot of people that it's an event. And the Grove's a big part of that event.
Mm-hmm.
And come on, there's families that go to the Grove that not everybody who goes to the Grove goes to the game.
But some do.
Yeah. But the people who don't go to the game are there for the Grove, and if you took the Grove away, they wouldn't want to go, and if they don't go, some of the other people wouldn't go in the family because that's part of the deal.
Yeah, sure.
Did I say that right?
I think I knew what you meant. Torturing yourself?
No, it's habit, man, after all these years, and now
watching Cubs, Rockies. Oh, look, threw him out.
Wilson's a good player.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's where we are. That's kind of the end of it. We'll let you know when we know. As of now, I expect some semblance of.
What do you expect? Give me your prediction for what this is, because I've got mine in my head. I think I know.
All right, I think we're masked in press box, no field access, Zoom only for media. So very similar to last year.
Okay.
If you said there's one little bone thrown somehow, I'll buy it, but I don't even know what it would be.
Especially it's that way if Ole Miss isn't at 85%. If they're under 85%, we never get in person.
Okay. They wouldn't just bring vaccinated players only, potentially?
To be around media members?
Yeah, I'm asking.
No.
Okay. This is probably where I'm wrong tomorrow. My hunch says they do not limit attendance and the Grove remains open.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
Sure.
I just
Ask for a guess.
that's my guess.
I'm not going to shoot you or
Yeah.
anything.
That's my hunch as of right now. Because I think that's one of the reasons why. And then look, I mean, people could argue about this, and that's fine. I think that's at least one of the reasons why everybody moved pretty quickly on masks yesterday. Was okay, and then we're at least the thought. Does that work? I don't know, but I do believe that was at least the intention when it happened yesterday, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. I need a drink. I don't even drink. So we'll get to questions in a minute.
I drank for you last night.
Did you?
I did.
Did you have 1 or 6?
I had more than 1 and fewer than 6.
Did you at least stay with the same spirit?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't make like a 19-year-old mistake of mixing the beer and the wine and the whiskey and the tequila and the
No.
the college freshman who comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, the pretty blue drink. I'll have a walk me down," and it's nothing but like 7 different kinds of alcohol and not so pretty anymore. A couple hours later.
No. It doesn't come up quite as pretty as it went down.
I mean,
we all learned that the hard way.
In all seriousness, I just looked this up.
Okay.
Rum, triple sec, gin, and tequila, all mixed together in one drink.
You were looking that up?
Yeah, I just looked it up.
Okay.
I mean, I knew it was something like that.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, they were actually pretty popular when I was in college. And you put the blue,
Blue Curacao.
yeah, that in it. Yeah.
I made a lot of blue margaritas back in the day.
People like the blue margaritas?
Yeah.
Because they're pretty.
It's pretty. The blue margarita with the orange and the lime, it is very pretty. It's a lot. There's a lot
Does
there.
it taste like a normal margarita?
Yeah. Blue Curacao just has like an orange flavor.
It is an orange flavor, really.
Yeah. Would you think like a blueberry flavor?
How often am I putting the blue crap in my drink? I don't know.
When was the last time you had a blue drink?
I mean, I guess at the beach at some point, maybe, but probably college. I mean, seriously. Yeah. I mean, probably over damn walk me down. I mean, I don't know. Like, you just had to always protect the person who liked the walk me down because they'd go, "Hey, I'll have a second." You're like, "No, you won't." Right there, one. That's very
like
bad
the Long
things
Island
happen.
iced teas.
It's very similar to a Long Island iced tea. Yes.
People used to come into the bar and order those, and I would always, as I made them, think, why?
They don't taste good.
They couldn't. I've never had one.
You never tried one?
No. There's no way that tastes good.
I mean, it's like lighter fluid. No, I love a Sazerac, which has absinthe rinsed. I do not love absinthe.
No.
You do not want too much absinthe.
No, you rinse it.
I mean, whew. Yeah, Ginger said she drank them too.
Look, I would have a blue margarita on a hot
right
day,
day.
On the beach, floating around.
Or an orange or a yellow or a pink or a green.
You pick.
Yeah. Okay. Podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Our underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and more. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We are also brought to you, there we go, by Dead Soxy. It's deadsoxy.com. They are back with us this week, back with us for the next year and a half, at least, hopefully longer. But go to deadsoxy.com. It's enter the promo code Rebel Grove. I think it's Rebel Grove 20, isn't it? It's on my signature. I need to look that up. It's also up on the site. Do you know?
What is it?
The code
It's
for
Rebel Grove, isn't it?
Yeah, Rebel Grove.
Yeah.
Code Rebel Grove and get 25% off. You think I would know that? And I normally do, but it's been a day, Chase. The Grove will be hopefully open back to full capacity this fall. The team at 7 South Tailgating will be there to serve all of your tailgating needs. It's funny when a ball gets hit at Coors Field straight up in the air, and you just assume it's going to be an out, and it's not.
It was gone?
Yeah, it just kind of eased out. Left. I've never been to a ball game there. Have you ever been?
Nope.
It's kind of a place I'd like to go see. Anyway, 7 South Tailgating, they got all your they're your one-stop shop for all things tailgating at Ole Miss, a level of service that's unlike any other. Their team is passionate about serving fellow Rebels, and it shows. If you use their service once, you'll never tailgate without them again. 7southtailgating.com, 662-321-1682. They've got single games, multi-game, and full service, full season packages available, so get in touch with them today. Also brought to you by Game Changer Patch Company. Speaking of blue drinks and too many blue drinks, or if you were to drink too much absinthe, which would be an interesting way to go.
Ooh,
the people at Game Changer, they're there for you. They've developed their own custom blend for treating hangovers several years ago to help reduce dehydration, prevent sleep deprivation, and help process alcohol. They have a 2-patch system. The warm-up patch is used before or while you drink, and the overtime patch is used after you've been drinking and while you sleep. They're based on the science of preventing hangovers to include the highest quality ingredients sourced by the reputable manufacturers in the United States and the UK. Try it for yourself at GameChangerPatch.com. Enter promo code RebelGrove20, RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. Also brought to you by ACS, Automation and Control Systems, LLC. If you're in need of custom HMI and SCADA solutions or large horsepower VFD specialist, ACS has you covered. They can service and install Rockwell Automation, Allen Bradley, Siemens, ABB, Square D, and many other manufacturers. It's ACSLLCMS.com or call 662-601-4381.
Podcast is also brought to you by Visit Oxford. Visit oxfordms.net Visit oxfordms.com is the website. Sorry, kind of losing my train of thought there a little bit. Go to the events page, see everything going on locally this week and every week. Got Music in the Grove on August the 8th. That's this weekend. Damian Walsh at 6 p.m. It's kind of like the Summer Sunset Series. Bring your chair, hang out for that. Next Friday, the Yakima Arts Council with Iron Bartender. You can go get tickets, sample all the different best cocktails all around town for that one. Got a Tupelo entrant as well. Got a couple others. So come hang out, try some of the best alcohol here locally in Oxford and more. Also, bus tours that day, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. You can call Visit Oxford, reserve your spot. And remember, an adult ticket to ride the bus gets you $100 off a pair of Blue Delta jeans as well. And then they announced yesterday, August 28th, Eat in the Street. That's on Jackson Avenue. Family activities all throughout the day. They've got Drew Holcomb headlining for music, 5 to 9 on that one. You can pick up food. They'll have some picnic tables, different things spread out to eat, kind of hang out, different games, different things. Fun little activity there, August 28th. Again, Eat in the Street here in Oxford. So let's see. What do we got? What are you laughing at?
I was laughing at an email.
I've never been absinthe drunk, so I don't even know what that would mean. I'm very scared of it.
Well, it would be like just getting NyQuil drunk, wouldn't it? Like taking a bottle of NyQuil and just downing it. That taste in your mouth.
I could be wrong on this. Isn't one of... Hold on, real quick. We're here. It's basically a Friday show at this point. If you're with us today, this is probably not the first show of us that you listen to. If so, turn it off and do anything
just come
else.
Come back another day.
Yeah, Monday sounds great. Go do that. Yeah, it's Ernest Hemingway. I've got that book. It's like, I think it's called Esquire Drinks or something, but it's phenomenal. It's got every drink cocktail recipe you could come up with, and then he basically tells the origin of a lot of them as well. Kind of has the stories and where they came from, and they have different alterations to them depending on what you're looking for or whatever. But Hemingway, obviously a very known drunk in his day.
Yes.
Pour 1 jigger of absinthe into a champagne glass and then add iced champagne until it attains the proper opalescent milkiness. Drink 3 to 5 of these slowly. Think about that.
No.
Absinthe and champagne mixed together and then have more than one?
Yeah, why?
He says slowly, though.
Yeah.
Ernest said don't get carried away.
Yeah.
I saw this the other day when I was talking to somebody else about it, and I can't even imagine what that would feel like. So I'll take Scotch drunk, even though Scotch drunk is terrible as well, because you're going to get that sappy, peaty flavor in your mouth and be unable to get rid of it. So that's bad too. But
I've never been able to develop a taste for Scotch much. Hadn't gotten there.
To me, it's not very settling at all.
I like bourbon. I like tequila.
Frankly,
I like mezcal. I like rum a little bit.
If I've had it, it's just been a try here or there. I don't think I've actually had a full glass of Scotch since Sugar Bowl. It's been 5-6 years.
Well, and that would explain why you haven't had it since then.
Well, that's fair.
I saw you the next day.
I was fine.
About
the next day.
Yeah, like 4 in the afternoon. You were getting better.
I wasn't good then. I couldn't eat. I didn't eat until the post-game media meal back at the hotel.
Oh, that's right. Like
after we got done working.
Yeah. And I'm with Ginger here. She says hard pass, just give me the champagne. I like champagne.
Oh, I do too. I have no qualms about champagne whatsoever.
And will straight up admit that I love a mimosa. And if that makes me a girly girl, then what I'm in. I don't care.
Any kind? Or you want just traditional? They don't need to add the pineapple and all the different stuff.
I don't want that. I want just the orange juice and the champagne and a little bit of Grand Marnier at the top.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you did the Grand Marnier.
Or the Cointreau, either one.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And I can do without that, but I like it. If you add that in, I'm in.
You're really in this?
That's like at the beach when you ordered like a frozen margarita and they said, you want a floater? Sure.
Why not?
Well, why not? He's like pouring
That's true.
Cointreau all over it.
If it's like when you're at the beach, how often do you say no to any of that? Like they go, hey, you want a single or a double? It's like, where am I going?
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Make it a quadruple.
Yeah. They can pop you for another $5.
Well, that's what they did. Because I would look at the bill later, and the floater was like $4.95.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my answer every time was Asher.
Yeah. Let's see. Jump into some questions. I don't think there's much else that's happened in the last day or so. Do you think the NCAA would try to limit recruiting visits again this fall? If so, would they even have the teeth for programs to listen and comply? Well, on the latter, at the end of the day, programs do comply.
They do comply.
Zach
and I talked about this a little bit on Soft Verbal because which is up, by the way, where you listen to the podcast. It's also up on our this here YouTube channel. I don't know, Chase. I'm a little concerned.
I don't think we're there yet. But that is starting to creep into my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm asking this seriously because I don't know. I mean, obviously I know what it looks like here from different things as far as official sources. Is the entire nation or South at least experiencing very similar things?
Yes, I was looking at a graph
a
minute ago, and I'm not getting political, I promise. They were trying to make it about vaccinations, and I have no doubt that maybe that's part of it. But the one thing, the part of the country that had hospitalizations increased was all South. The North states, including states like South Dakota, which I'm going to guess politically is probably not the vaccine capital of the world.
Okay.
Their hospitalizations were nothing. That anything north of a certain latitude appeared to be no hospitalizations.
Pretty stable.
And then anything south of that, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, et cetera, South Carolina, there were pretty high levels of hospitalization as opposed to the states from up north. And they were trying to make it, and they could be right. So let me point that out before I get yelled at by more people. They were trying to make it strictly vaccination levels. And I wonder if some of that is the seasonality of the virus and where it moves. Because if you look at some other countries, and this is coming from someone who is pro-vaccine, I encouraged both of my daughters today, and I've encouraged my 14, soon-to-be 15-year-old son to get vaccinated. So when you tell me that I'm anti-vax, I'm not. But if you look at some comparisons between countries where the vaccination levels are super different, the seasonality of the virus, the numbers, the way that the numbers went, were pretty similar.
I do think it has to grip the Midwest and a little bit into the North for there to be recruiting stipulations put in, because you're never doing that for an area of the country. It's national or no.
Here's what's interesting to me is, and again, don't get me wrong, they can do whatever they want to do to media, and it'll be fine. We've always been, what's the word? I think Jay would use the word pliable,
flexible,
yeah.
malleable.
We've always just sort of rolled with it. We're cool, whatever. I mean, my answer usually to whenever anybody at Ole Miss would ask, "What do you want?" I mean, I want as much access as I can get, but I'm cool. I've never once in my entire
You're never going to fire and pitchfork it.
I've never complained about access one time, and won't. Give me what you give me, as long as the playing field's level. Give me what you give me, and I'm good. I feel like we'll win. Be honest.
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? I'm sorry. Yeah, I do wonder if you're worried about the vax level on your team, if you're not at 85 and you're having to test 3 times a week and all of that stuff, I do wonder how careful you are about bringing in recruits and their families and things like that. Because once you bring them in, you can't be like, "Hey, keep your distance," right?
Yeah. No, you're all in.
You're all in at that point. You know, when grandmama shows up, you're hugging her.
Yeah.
You know, when Big Brother's there, when
recruiting.
Uncle Bobby's there, the whole deal. You're hugging everybody. You're on everybody. You're probably not all masked up at that point either, because it's a recruit that matters to you. And I kind of wonder if people are going to want to do that if you're at a certain – because let's face it, here's the other part of the story. It's where people say, "Why are you guys talking about this?" Because it is the biggest potential story of the season. I mean, I'll paint a terrible picture for you. You're 5-1, LSU's due in, and you have to forfeit the game. Right now, today, that's on the table. And if that's on the table, I don't see how you can justify not talking about it if you're covering the team. If you're covering the team, it is the most dangerous opponent on the schedule right now, with the exception of Alabama.
Oh, it's why, I mean, good luck writing this. I have no idea to know, because I don't even know the answer here. I have no clue. But, I mean, one of the main stories, if you got, everybody goes, "Hey, what if True Serum was out there?" And, unfiltered access and all that kind of stuff. Why, when the demographics of most college football teams are give or take the same, why do some teams have 95% vaccination rates and some teams have 40%? Why?
It's a great question.
I mean, because it's not like there's some. It's not like, it's not like we're talking about different races or parts of the country or any demographic. Again, not about race, just in general.
Sure,
like
of course.
Any socioeconomic, any whatever. I mean,
yeah, sure.
From Harvard to North Dakota State. Why is it different? Well, here, I mean, all the demographics are ish in the SEC.
Yeah.
And you're talking about potentially 50% differences between some of the schools. That's remarkable.
Well, I mean, if the numbers I've heard on comparing Ole Miss and Alabama, it's a solid 40% difference.
Yeah,
it's one state. I can be in Tuscaloosa from right here in 3.5 hours, comfortably. If I left right now.
Yeah, every bit of that, probably a little less.
Yeah.
What are the internal dynamics that change the numbers that much? I don't know, but it's my question.
Because I have a hard time believing that Nick Saban and his staff told guys, if you don't get vaxxed, you're gone. I mean, they did that at Boston College, and the one kid said, "I'm not doing it," and they found him a home. He transferred.
Hawaii put in mandatory vax today.
Did they?
Yeah, their football team.
How can they?
I don't know. They did.
Huh.
Pretty sure I'm right about that. I'll look it up during the break, but I think I'm right. Unless it was like an Onion article or something I didn't read past the headline.
I think it's a matter of time before everybody does that. But as of today, you can't do it.
My guess, and
my understanding.
Again, I'm not in the locker rooms. I could be told I'm wrong. I have no clue. My guess is internal peer pressure from other players. The onus and the liability is not on coaches because you cannot make it mandatory. You cannot force it.
Right.
My guess is players. And I still don't know how you necessarily get that push, but...
Like at Missouri, they're really high, and I've told Drinkwitz was pretty firm about it. But, hey, I can't make you do it. But this is a competitive advantage or a competitive disadvantage.
And are there coaches who basically turned it into kind of like voluntary summer workouts?
Hey, you want to play?
Yeah.
You want a big role on this team?
Yeah. Well, I'm just telling you, my starting running back, I can't be worried about him being out for 2 weeks. Damn. Hate that. I don't know. I mean, I have no clue.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, it's what I would have curiosity to if I could just pick whatever I wanted. But anyway,
all right. Here's a question. Let's go here.
Yeah,
we're on this topic. Let's not shy away from it. Is there a way to fabricate your numbers? Is there a way to fix it, if you will?
I don't know. I don't know if they have to actually show proof or not. I have no.
I have wondered how that works.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea.
I'll throw this to you. Hardman 478 says, I was the one asking Matt about it. It was me and Nick Suss were doing the interview. He says Corral said he was going to talk to the team about it in one of the media day interviews. Yep, it was me and Nick. Mm-hmm. And I asked Matt when we were done. I can say this now. I think it was on the record. I just didn't write it. I said, so you sent the text out to your team? Because he sent a text to his teammates.
Correct.
After Sankey's on that Monday.
When Sankey left it vague that there could be forfeitures involved with
I remember now.
Game.
Ole Miss went on Tuesday afternoon, and Greg Sankey opened media days Monday at noon. And one of the things he talked about was that the forfeits were on the table.
Yeah.
And Matt said that he texted his teammates with, hey, we have to do something. And I asked him, I said, what kind of response did you get? I'll remember his answer. He goes, none.
None.
No one responded.
Yeah. I found Hawaii's thing. I'll read that in 1 second. We'll start the topic first. Let me tell you, for all your local real estate needs here in Oxford, Nix Tan and Associates, go to the website nixtanoxford.com. You can see gallery views, map views, break it down however you would like to, talk with an agent, and much more there. Between O'Keefe Graham, Clay DeWeese, and all the people that work at Nix Tan, you get more than 30 years experience. Clay is your District 12 House of Representatives member as well, and they can take care of you. I've used them multiple times on the buy side and the sell side, so let them be next to take care of all your home needs here in the Oxford area. 662-281-1200 is the phone number. Again, Nix Tan and Associates, nixtanoxford.com.
We got girls youth volleyball and also girls cheerleading at Oxford Park Commission this summer. October and November for the volleyball. They've got a football season and a basketball season for the cheer. The cost to sign up is $50. It's at oxfordparkcommission.com. Pinpoint Commercial Real Estate's based out of Jackson, Mississippi, and they service the entire state in all commercial asset classes such as retail, office, industrial, and land. Sam Cox and BB Mitchell are Ole Miss grads. They utilize their unique skill sets to execute on assignments and increase value for their clients. This week's spotlight is the Village at Madison. The Village at Madison will feature roughly 60,000 square feet of retail, restaurant, and professional office space with roughly 75 zero-lot line residences. It's located on the corner of Madison Parkway and Main Street in Madison. If you'd like to learn more about this great opportunity, get in touch with BB and Sam at 601-586-3220. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they're uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand-tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi. One size fits one at bluedeltajeans.com. You can go to that website, check out their virtual tailor, and get measured and design your newest jeans in just a couple minutes. And Blue Delta will make sure that you're looking good for the first kick of football season in September. Our podcast listeners can redeem 10% off your purchase using the promo code Rebel Grove at bluedeltajeans.com. It's a great time of year to get a pair of Blue Delta's cotton Genos in the works, so don't miss out. We're also brought to you by Lammon's Fine Jewelry. Lammon's is at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. They've been serving the Oxford area for more than 73 years. Engagement rings, wedding rings, pearls, fashion jewelry, everything. They've got it, collectibles and more. It's the gold standard in fine jewelry, so visit them at lammonsfinejewelry.com or call 662-234-2777. And we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air. That's the name you can trust with well over a half century of experience in professional HVAC in Oxford, Tupelo, and the surrounding area. 662-801-1777.
Podcast also brought to you by Northeast Spark. Service people across rural communities. 2 packages: the Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze, the 1 gig that powers the Clark Ford studio. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com. 662-238-3159. Phone services available. Parental controls, network security, wireless mesh extenders, and more. So call the office, find out if they're in your area, and if so, get the best internet around. Again, 662-238-3159. Yeah, reading from the Star Advertiser. The University of Hawaii is requiring its student athletes to be vaccinated against COVID-19 to compete in sports this coming academic year. The directive was sent in a July 29th email to the student athletes of Hawaii's 19 sports programs. The athletic department's decision was made in line with the university's policy and after consultation with an assembled medical committee addressing pandemic protocols. Unvaccinated student athletes may apply for a waiver, citing religious or medical reasons.
Okay.
So, the requirement is also made in the spirit of Kakua to protect all community members who support our athletics program. In addition to health and safety reasons, we want to avoid cancellations of games and practices due to exposures, isolation, and quarantine.
Kakua.
I don't know what that means, but
Sounds good.
sure.
I'm going to start greeting people in the spirit of Kakua.
Who's the coach at Hawaii now?
That's that Rolovich guy, right?
That's where he's at?
I think so. Isn't that right?
I don't know. I'm asking you. It means help.
There you go.
Actually, though, in its deeper meaning, it means to extend help to others in a sacrificial way with no intent of personal gain and to cooperate.
Oh,
Okay.
it's very generous.
They kind of went.
Or did Rolovich leave for like Washington State?
I thought he was at Washington State.
He
is why
left,
I
didn't
said
he?
That. Yeah.
Maybe they went and got June Jones again.
He did a good job out there. Their head coach is Todd Graham. That dude's at Hawaii, you know?
He is coached everywhere.
That cat.
You should put him on the baseball hot board next time.
Well, he did do, was it 3 schools in 3 years?
Yeah.
At one point.
It's like Pitt, Arizona State, and somewhere. The dude's been everywhere.
I mean, seriously.
Kakua.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Todd Graham.
But neither of us are the ones that are staying up till 1 a.m. to watch the final game of the day.
No, because I think he was the coach of them last year. But we didn't have, we had the late nights because of hand raise guys, but you weren't having to come off the adrenaline kind of like covering a game. Like, I went to bed easier last year.
Did you?
Yeah. I was tired by the end. No, the hell was
I was
like,
pretty wired by the
Were
time.
you really?
Yeah, by the time we finished and stuff, I really was.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed game days last year. It was there was a rush. It's kind of fun.
It's weird to me just simply watching on TV. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
You're not.
Sure, I told you when I went and covered a couple of scrimmages and I was in the stands, it felt so odd. The first one it was kind of almost overwhelming.
When's the last time you were at a game?
An Ole Miss football game?
Yes.
Whoever they played the week before Missouri in 19.
Because I went to a few after that for the first half. Like, I saw LSU for a half, and I'd come here to be ready when it was over, but I was going for at least a little bit of
Yeah,
it.
whoever they played the week before Missouri in 19.
And you don't remember who that was?
Vanderbilt, maybe? I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we did like 8 shows before they won a game. It was a little bit of a difficult track there for a little while until they played ULM.
Was it ULM that they?
Was it not ULM? Was it somebody else? Was it Lafayette or Southeast Missouri or somebody?
New Mexico State.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was them. Why am I picking on ULM? Why not just pull ULM out of the pile? All right, back to our questions. Sorry, I'm.
How about the guy that's in the thread? The guy that basically assaulted a flight attendant, had to get duct taped to his chair.
And then they got in trouble.
And he was telling him how much money his parents were worth.
But then,
what a loser.
But didn't the attendants get like suspended or something because they duct taped him? Did I read that right?
Is that right?
Yeah, I think the flight attendants got in trouble. It's like, okay, hold on.
So
what do you want us to do?
The guy's groping them.
Yeah. And then gets like violent. What are their options at that point? Also, that much duct tape's on a plane?
That's a lot of duct tape.
I mean, is it in case the wing gets like what are we doing? It was Frontier. Look, all jokes aside,
all bets are off, baby.
I mean, it was Allegiant that I flew to L.A. on a few years ago when I went to Long Beach, and they do look. They'll give you that price, and I flew nonstop from Memphis for $126 round trip.
Oh yeah,
round trip.
Tell me about all the amenities on that flight.
I was about to say, if you leave a toenail clipping, it's an extra $42. Like, my backpack was like $26 each way. Like, if you had a carry-on, God help you. I mean, it was seriously, it was, well, and then they would be like, you get these warnings, or not warnings, but like, well, they were warnings, but that's not how their PR team phrased them. On even like stuff like, make sure the same number of people are on both sides to balance out the plane and stuff. You're like, hold on. And we're going cross country?
Yeah.
Like, we're not puddle jumping to Nashville. Like, we're going to L.A.
Yes. You're trying to get the fuel just right.
It was a little startling. Yeah. I'll be honest. I was not unhappy. It's like one of the few times you see the skyline of Memphis and you're very proud when you're coming in.
They were suspended with pay.
Oh, well then, yeah. Then somebody laughed at them then.
Yeah.
Said, hey, go take a vacation for
Protocol.
a week. We've got to slap you on the wrist here.
I bet they went and ordered the drink and said, yeah, give me the floater.
Can you imagine finally getting off that plane?
Nearest bar.
Planes in general seem crazier these days.
I haven't flown since 19.
I've only flown to Dallas a couple months ago. That's the only time I've done it, I guess. Since then, I don't guess I've flown since I went to D.C., unless I'm forgetting something.
I don't actually remember my last flight. It's been a while.
You not?
Mm-mm.
I flew American to Dallas. It was fine. No.
You were mask nervous. You were like,
I was masked. Well, because I was the people that left their mask on and ate the peanuts around the mask. I was more. I felt like I was in a zoo a little bit. I was watching people. Didn't mean it like that. I was watching people do different things to try to. I mean, look. No. In all seriousness, I give people credit. They were doing everything possible to follow the rules, including inhibiting their own ability to function in whatever way that it was going on. Alcohol was not allowed on the flight. That was taken away. That's a COVID thing.
Mm-hmm. Why is that, by the way? The virus is attracted to alcoholic drinks, or
is it because it has to be poured? Is it something to do with like the? Because you're actually. Well, no, because they pour the Coke or anything else. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't remember. That's a good point. I don't know why. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. All right. This really is a Friday show. We're terrible today. Do you have to deal with management as rivals employees? No, hardly ever.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I actually looked the other day. So one of our bosses is leaving the company here in a couple months. I guess that's okay to say. I don't know.
You didn't say names.
Is that embargoed?
I mean, if it is, I'm not aware.
I'm unaware. So I didn't get that email.
I'm not going to name names, but
yeah, sure. But I went and looked because I was curious, and we've traded some emails. But as far as an actual like conversation on the phone or text, we had not had any interaction back and forth since Kermit Davis was hired as head coach at Ole Miss.
Oh, so it'd been a minute.
Yeah, because we had a little bit of a run-in with another site over that.
Did we?
Are we telling this?
Yeah.
Okay. The guy at Middle Tennessee, again, we'll not use names, although it'd be pretty easy to get there. He was very upset that we had not let him know that we were reporting Kermit Davis to Ole Miss.
It's like everybody knew.
So I got a phone call that was basically like, "Hey, look, Chase, can you just apologize? Like, can you just do whatever, you know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And that was.
Did I write a sarcastic email?
I called or texted or emailed or something. I don't remember. I don't remember.
The same person has requested. He once requested that I not write an email anymore. He goes, just don't write emails.
Oh, really? You were told not to write emails?
Well, because I was asked to apologize to somebody about something, and so I did.
Very sarcastically.
But the letter of apology was
sarcastic.
On its best day.
With all due respect to rivals, no, we get left alone unless we do something really stupid or we have an issue. I mean, there's no...
I actually think that they think that we're one of the model sites.
You think there's more interaction between some sites and them?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, seriously, we hear
they've steered a lot of people towards us for, like, tips and things. And I'm always surprised by that because I've never, like, really considered myself the role model type.
I mean, we've won awards at those things before.
Have we?
Well, we never win, like, Mr. Congeniality. We don't get those.
No.
There's a group of us that are not considered for those awards.
Yeah.
But, sometimes we,
I try to be a team player sometimes.
I've got, like, a Rivals Top 20 certificate somewhere laying around. I
feel like I can say this story now because people aren't there anymore. There's a certain site in the network.
Oh, where's my sites? Okay.
That I tried to help with a recent coaching search. Not only told the person that what they were reporting was incorrect, but told them you really need to back off of it. You're wrong. Just back off today and you'll be okay. But if you keep going on this, it's going to be embarrassing in the next couple of days. They kept going because they didn't believe me. And then I told said reporter who their coach was going to be.
Okay.
And that reporter told me I was wrong. And I said, I'm just going to tell you that's who it is. And if I were on your beat, I would write it. But I'm not on your beat. I'm telling you so that you can have it. It doesn't matter to me. Go for it.
And they never did?
And they never did write it. And then sure enough.
Why? Couldn't get it?
I gave it to them.
Well, I know, but why?
I don't know. Didn't believe me?
Was it a big site?
Yeah. Not as big as us, but yeah.
Okay.
In the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And no, it wasn't Auburn. No. No. Jay and I are great. Jay's silly and stuff, but Jay's a hell of a reporter now.
Yeah. And gets pretty dogged. I mean,
he get after it. And he has good staff. Brian Matthews is a really good reporter. That's a good staff over there. No, it's not them.
Why would somebody not break that?
Didn't believe me. That's why they didn't break it. Days ahead. I mean, literally days ahead, I said, let me tell you who it's going to be. And I couldn't tell them who the source was because I can't. But I'm like, you need to be digging on that name and that name alone because that's who it is. And if you get somewhere, you should write it. And I remember kind of being like, hell, if you don't get somewhere, you should still write it.
Yeah. Buy or sell, Corral's a top 10 pick in the 2022 draft. I'm going to sell, but I think he's a top 18 pick in the draft.
Who?
Matt Corral.
Top 18?
I'm going to go 18.
That's about right. I think he's got a chance to be somewhere between 10 and 15.
Yeah, it's buy or sell top 10. I'm selling, but I'm close.
Oh, yeah. I'd sell top 10, but boy, it'd be close. I'd buy top 15.
You'd buy 15.
Mm-hmm. I think Matt's really good. I've been on that wagon for a while.
If he truly is the third quarterback taken, he's top 15 because there will be 3 quarterbacks taken in the top 15 in the draft.
I'm not sure he's not going to be the first quarterback taken.
Ooh, really?
What intangible does he not have? This is lazy media. As a freshman, he got into a fight. He's a wild card. Oh, he's crazy. Come on, stop.
Gretzky's kid and the whole deal.
He's grown up.
Yeah. Got into a thing at a rivals camp thing. Okay. Yeah.
He was a kid.
Florida would take Matt Corral again right now if they could do it over again.
Yeah.
Be happy to.
USC would too.
Yeah. Those were errors.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to judge them because
it's hindsight. They made the decision.
At the time, he looked like he might be too much of a hothead.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that people do with Matt, they do 2 things with Matt. It's really weird. They're like, well, I question his intelligence. I'm like, really? He's one of the smartest people I've covered. And then they do he doesn't have a big arm. No, he has one of the biggest arms. His one thing that the smart NFL people want to see is, hey, can you make good decisions? And when you make a mistake, can you move on from the mistake? I mean, I promise you, if an NFL scout could draw up, if they were really thinking about Matt Corral, and their front office was looking at the Ole Miss-Arkansas game, they want Matt Corral to throw a pick on the first possession. All right, let's see it get in his head, and let's see what he does.
Yeah.
They would love that. Matt Corral throws a bad pick first possession of the Arkansas game. They'd be like, oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Break out your notes. Here we go, because we're about to find out all about this guy.
Yeah.
Because Matt knows what happened a year ago. I mean, I wrote this the other day when I was doing the plan. I think Matt's going to have a huge game against Arkansas, and I think Ole Miss is going to win big.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a good plan for him last year, and he fell into that trap over and over and over and over. And they had a good plan, and you got to give them credit for it. I mean, they won the game fair and square. And it consumed him, but he got past it. To me, the turning point for Matt last year was he comes back the next week against Auburn and throws a pick in the end zone at the very beginning of the game, and Lane has to sit him for a minute, like, get your mind right.
Seems good.
And then he was awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what NFL people would love that.
Mm-hmm.
They would love that scenario. Let's find out all about him now.
You have any idea on when timelines would be for the LSU, Memphis, or Arizona State NCAA situations? You heard anything?
Arizona State, Memphis. LSU, they're saying by October now, today.
For their letter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notice of allegations. It's only been 10 years. I don't know about the other two. I mean, Arizona State deal's kind of cut and dried.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Best I can tell. I don't know about the whole Memphis thing.
Chase, if you had to run for state senate, what would be your primary focus? Getting as many businesses as possible inside the state of Mississippi and whatever that takes to do that and try to keep people inside the state and keep your brain drain away.
Find a way to eliminate the state income tax. Find a way to incentivize businesses to come, whatever that took.
Yeah. Smartly getting rid of the state income tax would be, it can't just be, hey, it's gone because you're too poor for that. You got to find a way to supplement, but yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. You'd also like to divert some of the lottery and different things into education a little more I know infrastructure needs it, but got some education issues.
Someone in the thread says, talk about the incompetence of the previous staff to bench him for Plumlee. I don't know that it's incompetence. I think I go back to the day that I think Matt Luke lost his job. Was the day that Matt Luke was talked out of / not allowed to hire Will Hall.
You think that's the day?
Mm-hmm. I do. I think that was the day that it all ended.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, the Plumlee Corral thing was a symptom of the illness. Yeah. Because Matt was trying to survive. He was trying to just find a way to the next year. He was trying to, I don't even mean it negatively, but almost kind of gimmick his way through to another part to try to find some stability. I mean, sure. Matt's entire tenure, he was looking for stability and couldn't find it. And it was, what can we do to just try to hopefully look for another rung of the ladder?
And it was also, what can I do to get people to like me, to rally around me enough to let me get there? Because I think they thought they had a good plan in recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know.
They believed in that plan.
They believed in the plan.
Sure.
And I think they thought, because if you remember, I like Matt Luke a lot, the person. I really do. And so I don't like criticizing it because I don't think he got a lot of help. During his opening press conference, he ended it with, oh, yeah, Mississippi made.
Mm-hmm.
I almost forgot about it. And then, oh, yeah, Mississippi made. It was like someone had told him, hey, that's going to be your shtick. He'd already been the coach for a year. He was already recruiting. And then here's John Rice Plumlee, this kid from Mississippi that the media loved, 2 sports star, he played the piano, he can sing, all that stuff, good-looking kid, the whole deal. And he comes in at the end of that Cal game when Corral got hurt. He comes in and almost gets them to a win. And then they go to Tuscaloosa the next week, and Matt doesn't play. And they go to Tuscaloosa, and Alabama jumps ahead 714-0. And then Alabama takes out everybody that could play at that level. They put it in their third team, and he goes nuts on national television, and the final score ends up being somewhat more respectable than that. And everybody's like, woo, look at this. And I think he fell for it. And it got in Corral's head. He was a young quarterback, had lost his job, the whole deal.
And Rich Rod had he was so out of his prime too that he couldn't. Rich Rod has not found a way to get into 2021 from an offensive standpoint.
He tried to turn John Rice Plumlee into Pat White.
Yes. And
in the SEC.
When everybody already does that.
And it became
that was new and inventive in 2005.
Well, I can remember the Auburn game. They went over to Auburn, and Auburn played LSU the next week, and Auburn's ahead like 30-something to nothing or whatever it was, 3-7, whatever. The game's over. And Auburn does the smart thing. They're like, let's get out of here. We got it. And Ole Miss ends up making it, a 14, 17-point game, so it looks more respectable than it was. And I remember saying, what are they doing? It's the same thing over and over. And that may have been the last game we covered, actually, because they go to Missouri the next week, and they kind of rotate the two quarterbacks, and just couldn't win. It was never going to work.
Yeah, Missouri 38-27, A&M 24-17.
What was the Auburn score?
Well, Auburn was later. Auburn was actually right before New Mexico State.
Oh, okay.
It was 20-14, though. Your point stands still.
Yeah. But it was never felt like it was in doubt.
Yeah, their wins that year were 31-17 over Arkansas, 40-29 against Southeastern Louisiana, 31-6 against a horrific Vanderbilt team, and then New Mexico State 41-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget about that god-awful Memphis game. 15-10 to open the season. Memphis wins up there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that till we were talking about it. So,
there was a little message board meltdown that day.
Oh, my God. Podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy and Tyson Drugs. With G&M, you get local delivery in the Oxford area. You can take advantage of that and plenty more with your community local pharmacy here in Oxford. It's on South Lamar. Stop in or give them a call, 662-236-2222. Holly Springs is where Tyson Drugs is. It's on the square there. Plenty of different of the same things as well. So, anyway, G&M, Tyson Drugs, 662-236-2222.
We taped a soft verbal earlier today. You can get that where you get podcast on this feed or on this YouTube channel. It's brought to you by the College Corner, collegecornerstore.com, 2 locations in Jackson, one in Ridgeland, one in Flowood, collegecornerstore.com. We're also brought to you by Pinnacle. Speaking of Pinnacle, we taped a Mind on My Money podcast. That's up in this podcast feed as well. I'll make sure that I put it out on social media and such in a little bit. Pinnacle builds a box just for you as it pertains to your retirement and financial plans. Get in touch with them at mypinwealth.com. Also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Get in touch with John about your travel plans, especially now with different places more open than others and that kind of thing. And there are also plenty of deals to be had out there. So get in touch with him, give him some parameters and a budget, and let him give you options. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first book trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. Also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, that's the place to go. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com, a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles, great lease deals as well. And we're brought to you by Alpha Specialties, Highway 80 in Pearl, Mississippi. They are your trailer-specific professional. They've got load trail, Hallmark cargo trailers. They can work with third parties to have game day trailers and concession trailers built as well. 601-932-9798 or alphaofms.com. And we're brought to you by The Rogue. It's your destination for fine men's clothing. We've got all the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, Duckhead, and more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com.
Does Ole Miss make the college football playoff in the next 5 years?
We're going to 12 teams?
Yeah, if so, yes. If not, no.
Yeah.
We'll see what the.
It's an easy bet.
Yeah, I'm good with that. What round of the 2022 NFL Draft would you guess for Nick Broker and Ben Brown?
Ooh. I think Nick's got a chance to be a second-round pick.
I was going to go 2nd and 5th.
Yeah, 2nd, 5th/6th. He's a
Sure.
guard.
That's true.
Guards don't go super early.
Yeah.
Unless you are a big, bad, dominant badass.
Yeah. He can play center and
Ben,
rotate.
Yeah, I think Ben plays in the NFL.
Yeah, I do too.
I do.
Let's see. Will NIL hurt Ole Miss's recruiting, considering they do not have as large or wealthy fan base as most other Power 5 schools?
Yeah,
it's a negative. I mean, I don't know that it's catastrophic.
no,
but it's
not the end of the world, but it's probably a net negative, slight.
Are people sleeping on the Saints this year? Their Vegas win total's 9 games. Is that too big of a downward adjustment post-Breeze? Both OL and DL are strong, which is typically an indicator of a good NFL team. They haven't won less than 11 games since 2016 and are obviously 17 total games this year. Look.
Well, you know what Chase is going to say. Chase is going to say they're not going to win one game. They suck.
I'm really a complicated sort because I'm doing nothing but cheerleading Jameis Winston on one hand while completely saying they're going to suck on the other hand, which is impossible. If the quarterback plays good, they're good. Did you see my boy run through the chute yesterday?
I didn't.
Did you not?
No.
So they're doing like this handoff quarterback run drill thing. They're like one of those chutes with the little dummies you run through.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, Taysom gets through it, and everybody gets through it, or whatever. And Jameis comes through at the end, and it looked like it looked like the movie Little Giants, like the dummies knocking him around as he's coming through. He can't quite get through, but he's here to throw the rock. We're throwing touchdowns. We're not running the ball.
He put some crab legs on the other side of that, and he'll be right there.
Not allowed. It's good thoughts. It's all positive.
All right, let's do the Saints schedule real quick. Let's do some W's and L's.
Sure.
Open at home against Green Bay.
L.
I agree. At Carolina.
It's a game they've got to win if they really are doing something. But, I mean, that's not an easy – I mean, road games are road games.
New England Patriots at home, week 3.
Again, it's a game they should win if they really are a playoff team.
Week 4 at home against the Giants.
That's when it has to be a win.
God, if you're not 3-1 out of the gate, there's trouble.
You think 3-1 is the number? Saints always start slow.
Yeah, you better not. At Washington, week 5.
You need to win the game.
Gonna be At Seattle, week 7 is gonna be so loud you won't be able to hear.
Yeah.
Short turnaround, Halloween night. Tampa Bay at home.
I mean, I'll give them 1-1 against the Bucs.
Okay. Atlanta at home, got to win that one. At Tennessee, November 14th.
A loss.
Phew. You gonna go to that?
We'll see.
I love that stadium for a football game.
I don't know. I'm contemplating. They have a home game on my birthday. Thinking about going down that weekend.
At Philly, 11/21.
Loss.
Buffalo at home, 11/25. Is that your birthday?
No.
That's Thanksgiving night, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
That could be a good game.
Can't wait.
December 2nd.
Yes.
That's your birthday?
That's my birthday.
All right, your birthday against the Cowboys.
I think it's Monday night, isn't it?
Thursday night.
Is it Thursday? Oh,
Thursday
is it really?
night,
oh,
yeah.
well, then I don't like it as much. Okay. I didn't realize it. I thought it was a Sunday or a Monday night game when I saw it.
Sunday the 12th at the Jets.
You got to win that one if you're doing anything.
And then Sunday the 19th at Tampa. Monday the 27th of December against Miami. And you wrap it up with division games. January 2nd at home against Carolina. January 9th. Yeah, it's late for the regular season finale.
Mm-hmm.
January 9th at Atlanta.
They're going to win. They're going to go 8-9 or 9-8. They're going to do.
Okay.
You don't believe it? I mean, they are pretty talented in other spots.
They are. I don't.
You don't believe in Jameis?
I don't really believe in Jameis much.
I don't believe in Taysom.
Oh, I didn't say that
I
either.
watched that last year.
Just because Jameis isn't the quarterback doesn't mean that the next guy is. It might mean that you don't have a quarterback.
Well, you know how we like our backups in the NFL. Everybody loves the backup quarterback. I mean, who was it Taysom beat last year, but they didn't throw the ball the entire game? Since it was Cincinnati because Burrow was hurt. Was it the Bengals?
Feels right.
I mean, I was having multiple migraines during that game because they win. Everybody's like, "Oh, look!" It's like, "Oh my God, no! This is nonsensical." Stop.
You know me, lifetime Bengals fan.
Shut up.
Been on the field and everything.
You might have a quarterback problem.
I know.
Just saying.
Carson tells me that Justin Fields is ready to roll in Chicago, though.
Is he actually in?
Carson is all in on Justin Fields and the Bears.
Is he really?
Yeah. Carson had a good day today. The Athletic wrote a story about how the Cubs and Nick Castellanos might get back together after this season. You would have thought J-Lo and Ben Affleck were right there in the living room.
No kidding.
He's all in. It's a happy day. Cubs bringing Castellanos back. His boy SGA got an extension. And Justin Fields looks good in camp. It's fun to be 14. Because you can bounce back from the lowest of the sports lows when you're 14 pretty quickly.
But he has no real anything built up with.
He's pretty pumped about Justin Fields. He's convinced himself that Justin Fields is ready to roll. Week 1.
It was the Broncos. They beat the Broncos 31-3, so they beat the crap out of them.
Yep.
But the Broncos had literally no quarterbacks. They might have all been out with COVID or something. They seriously didn't have a quarterback.
That was right. They played the running back at quarterback.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill went 9 of 16 for 78 yards and a pick.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh, look at the Saints." It's like, they don't have a quarterback. All we're doing is running the ball and punting.
They were literally playing some guy that had played some college quarterback in a run system.
Yeah, it was a wide receiver.
Rich Rodriguez thought it was beautiful.
Kendall Hinton. Yeah, that was his name. Would you like to guess what Kendall Hinton's stats were in this game?
I watched the game. He didn't throw much.
You know how many passes he completed?
Like one?
One.
Yeah. I watched. I rode the Peloton that game. I remember watching that game.
He went 1 for 9 for 13 yards.
13 pretty yards, though.
I mean, the Broncos receiving is 6 dudes with targets and Noah Fant catching 1 pass for 13 yards. That was it.
Yep. That was the NFL telling the Broncos, look, we're done.
You're sunk.
You're playing. Figure it out.
That's true. The NFL got their games in.
Oh, well, you knew they would.
That was never a problem.
They're going to play.
They're going to play this year.
You're damn right. I just wonder what fans in stands look like. Because so far, no baseball people have cut back. I mean, we're watching a game in Denver right now. They've got lots of people in the stands.
It's a decent crowd, yeah. No, I know.
I mean, is it possible that this is all nothing more than sort of I'm not talking about the virus or hospitalizations and stuff. I'm not. But is it possible that these measures are just sort of, hey, look, we're going to give you something so that you can say you did something, but we're moving on?
I told you, I think there's a moment right now where that's the case in some different ways. We'll just see what it does. I mean, the scary part is not even some negativity on my part. It's that we don't know. I don't know what 2 weeks brings, and that's what worries me. Is I don't know if everybody goes, nope, it's back to last April and everything that was going on. Like, okay, but,
I just think smarter heads prevail before that happens, right? Where someone says, look, I get it, but we can't do that financially.
Yeah, I know.
And the people that are like, well, you can't talk about finances. Well, yes, you can. People do. I mean, money makes the world go round.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Appreciate everybody with questions today. We gave you all kind of short notice, but got some done there. And then we'll be back on Monday with another edition of the show. One more week prior to our normal morning schedule, that kind of thing. Some random shows, but you'll get all your shows next week, and then we'll again get on task. Start around 8 o'clock some mornings, a little earlier than 8 o'clock some mornings, but you'll get a pretty good idea of the routine as we get going here in a couple weeks. So appreciate everybody in the stream. Hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have some of Hemingway's cocktails this weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.